Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the National Science and Mathematics Olympiad. Today, our goal is not only to learn facts, but to deeply understand how the human body performs two essential processes, respiration and excretion. We are in phase one, the stage of building your scientific foundation. Our focus is not memorization, it's understanding, analyzing, and connecting ideas. Don't forget that. We're still in chapter 5. This chapter explores the human body systems that function together like a synchronized team performing specific tasks. In a previous lecture, we already done with skeletal and muscular systems, nervous and circulatory systems, part 2 of circulatory systems, and today inshallah we will take respiratory and excretory systems. And don't forget that body systems are interconnected. It means the respiratory system cannot function without the circulatory system transporting oxygen. Similarly, the excretory system depends on nerves and hormonal regulation. In our lecture today that talk about respiratory and excretory systems, these two systems work silently every second. Even a short dysfunction can be dangerous. Today, inshallah, we will distinguish between a breathing movement, gas exchange, and cellular respiration. We will also explore how the body removes waste to maintain homeostasis. Welcome back, diligent student. Let's analyze this important slide that compares respiratory movement and respiration. And let's talk first about external respiration. External respiration occurs through the processes of inhalation and exhalation, which is what we call breathing movements. So, now let's talk about function. What's the function of it? Gas exchange between lungs and the external environment. And remember, this is part we see and feel the process of taking air in and out. So that one, take air in and out. External respiration. Let's move on to internal respiration. And it occurs through simple diffusion between the blood and body cells, the gas exchange processes. Okay? And the function, let's read here, right here, function. It's delivering. It's delivering. So delivering oxygen from the blood to the cells and removing carbon dioxide from the cells to the blood. And the respiratory center in the brain controls the movement of the respiratory muscles according to the body's need for oxygen or its need to eliminate carbon dioxide. Let's move on with cellular respiration. The main purpose of respiration is to release the energy stored in food. Okay? So, location where it occurs, it takes place in the mitochondria within each cell of the body. So, key differences about this cellular respiration is this is the biochemical level where the oxygen molecules delivered by internal respiration are used to produce energy in the form of ADP. So the main idea of cellular respiration is to produce energy, and the energy we know it before, it's ATP, and that occur in mitochondrion. Let's have a quick summary. Okay, so remember that respiration Remember that respiration is a comprehensive process. It's divided into external and internal. And internal, it's between blood and cells, and cellular energy production. Okay, guys, this slide builds on what we learned earlier about the respiratory system and how air travels through your body. And let's follow the journey of air step by step. And we have first thing here is nose. That's it here. So this is the entry point. The nose filters dust, moistens the air, and warms it so it's safe for the lungs. Okay, this is the first one. Moving to the next one. Pharynx is a shared passages for both air and food, and it directs air downward toward the lungs. This is pharynx. Number three is larynx, voice box. Here is the larynx. Okay, so it's not only does air pass through here, but this is where your voice is produced in larynx, and because of that they called it voice box. Number four, epiglottis. So epiglottis acts like a smart flap that close the air way. Yes, it's close the air way when you swallow so food doesn't enter your lungs. And let's continue with number five. We begin now with lower respiratory tract with trachea. So trachea is a strong tube kept open by C-shaped ring. Here, it's like C-shaped rings, okay? And it carries air down into the chest and then spill it. This is trachea. Move on to lungs, and before lungs there is bronchi. Let me write it down. Bronchi. And bronchi is the trachea divides into two bronchi, each one leading into lungs. That's it. Here, bronchi, primary bronchi. And next is lungs, the main organs where oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged in lungs. Alveoli, it's like tiny air sacs surrounded by capillaries. This is where gas exchange and actually happens. So oxygen enters the blood and carbon dioxide leaves. So let's make it simple. Inhaler air, inhale air, filter, okay, travel down, and reach alveolar, okay, and exchange gas and lead to exhale waste gas. Exhale waste gas. That's the right way of respiration. Okay? And your respiratory system works every second without you thinking about it, even right now while you sit and listen. The main goal of this clip is to showcase the structure of the respiratory system in the form of moving 3D model. Have you ever wondered what happens to all the wastes and toxins your body produced every minute? Every time you eat, breathe, drink, and move, your body creates waste products that must be removed. if these weights stayed inside, your body wouldn't survive for long. This is where the excretory system comes in, your body's smart cleaning system that silently protects your health and balance every signal movement. So, what would happen if the excretory system stopped working for just 1 day? So, the answer, excretion is not optional. It's the key to survival by preventing the body from poisoning itself. So, the function of excretory system is maintaining the body's internal balance, regulation, the pH level, and eliminating wastes and toxins. Now that we have introduced the excretory system, this slide shows how the kidneys perform their essential functions to keep your body clean and balanced. And let's break it down into three main functions. And let's start with filtration. So, in filtration, the blood enters the kidneys through the renal artery. That's one here. Blood entry. Entry. And when blood entry, it's carrying water, salts, glucose, and waste. And the kidney act like natural filter, removing toxins and unwanted substance from the blood. So that happened in filtration. Let's move on to the second function, reabsorption. So, in reabsorption, not everything filtering is waste. The kidney here reabsorb useful materials such as water, glucose, and minerals back into the bloodstream. So the body doesn't lose important nutrients. So this is like recycle. It's like recycling. Okay. The last function is excretion. So, what remains from urine, which contains water, salt, and waste? It travels from kidney here, okay, and go to ureterus here. This is ureterus, that one, and from ureterus, it will be stored in urinary bladder, that one. Here it will be stored. And finally leaves the body through the urethra. It will be final distinguished from here. Okay, so let's simplifying following doing diagram style. So blood enters through filtration, through reabsorption, through waste become urine, 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 and excreted out of the body. So it be excreted out of the body. So this is the simplified flow. Okay, remember this, guys. Your kidneys work 24/7 silently, filtering nearly 150 liters of blood each day, proving that the most powerful machine in your body are the one you never hear. So subhanallah walhamdulillah. Let's talk about some of disorders of excretory systems. So when the kidneys fails to perform their functions, toxins accumulate in the blood. Common disorders include kidney stones, kidney failure, urinary tract infections. So let's see the clip. Okay, guys, this question is not just about memorizing. We are measuring your critical thinking here. So think about how the body changes with age and how breathing supports growth and activity. The question says, during which stage is the breathing rate the fastest? Is an 8-year-old man or a 40-year-old woman or a newborn baby or an 18-year-old young man? So, to answer, consider which age group needs more oxygen because the body is growing rapidly and using more energy. So this is the key answer of this question. A, an 80-year-old, that one. Why it's wrong? Because the breathing slows with age as the body's activities decrease, so they don't need to breathe so much. So it's wrong. B, also wrong because breathing is stable and normal, not the fastest. What about a newborn baby? Yes, it is. It's the right answer because newborn breathe much faster because their bodies grow quickly and demand more oxygen. And for sure, 18 years old young man's wrong because healthy breathing rate, but not the fastest. So the right answer, it would be a newborn baby because again, newborns have the fastest breathing rate among all stages of life. Move on, guys, to another exercise. So, in this exercise, we are measuring your ability to understand how breathing happens inside your body. Not just memorize terms. You must look at the picture and connect the statement to the correct breathing stage. Look at image A here. On image A, the diaphragm moving downward, the thoracic cavity becomes larger and air enters the lungs. This is inhalation. So here it would be inhalation. B here, so shows the diaphragm moving upward. So the thoracic cavity becomes smaller and the air is pushed out, and this is exhalation. This is inhalation and this is exhalation. Now let's do a statement breakdown. First statement here, in B, it means here, the air pressure in the lungs decreases and air is released out. That one is incorrect. Why? Because air pressure increase during exhalation. What about 2? Statement 2. In the size of thoracic cavity is small. Also that one is wrong because in inhalation the thoracic cavity becomes larger, not small. 3 here, it's right. Why? Because inhalation decreasing lung pressure and pulls air in. And statement number 4 said in B the exhalation process occurs, and that is also right because you see image B represent exhalation itself. So let's see the options. The right options would be B. Okay, so understanding the direction of the diaphragm and air pressure helps you to explain how breathing works scientifically, not just visually. Okay, let's move forward for the last question. And this question is measure your ability to interrupt scientific graph and connect data with real biological functions. This is really, really important because it's the key in science and Olympiad thinking. So this is a real good example of to see the way of Olympiad questions. So let's analyze the graph first. So we can describe this graph by saying fluid intake versus urine output. Okay, so look carefully at the graph. A fluid intake increase, the graph line goes up. Also, this means the amount of urine output also increases. When the body receives more water, the kidneys remove the extra water through urine. When intake is low, the kidneys return water and produce less urine to keep you hydrated. So, the body adjusts urine production to maintain fluid balance. It's a very smart survival mechanism. So, let's illustrate the options here. 1. As the fluid intake increase, the kidneys produce more urine. And that's what the diagram show. That's right, because it's matched the graph. And B, a fluid intakes decrease. The kidneys produce more urine. This is wrong. Why? Because the opposite of the graph. C, fluid intake has no effect. This is also wrong. Why? Because the graph shows a clear effect, not no effect. Finally, D, fluid intake is the only factor, and that is wrong also, because there's salt, sweating, and hormones also affect it. And last one, E, as the fluid intake increase, the kidneys produce less urine. This is also wrong, because this is contradiction. So the correct answer is A. Remember, your kidneys are constantly working to keep the right balance. Not too much fluid, not too little. Proving again that your body is masterpiece of regulation. فسبحان الخالق. Finally, we covered in this lecture comparison between respiratory movement and respiration, structure of the respiratory system, function of excretory system, and components of the excretory system and excretory system disorders. Remember this, the respiratory system brings in oxygen for energy, and the excretory system removes wastes that can be harmful. One gives life, the other protects it. Don't forget that. Thank you for your listening, and inshallah see you soon. Bye bye.